Hey, it's your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here today. We're keying in and focusing in on the role of unresolved anger in the covert narcissist. Now, it's very much understood that the covert narcissist will manipulate and take advantage of others in very sly, covert, under the radar sort of manner. And the covert narcissist, by virtue of their being aloof, silent, avoidant very much of responsibility and accountability, and how that reflects on communication, has a very interesting origin. And the insecurity oftentimes is fostered by a deep-seated feeling of insecurity within the covert narcissist. And this feeling of insecurity oftentimes is what is known as unresolved anger. So this unresolved anger then transmutes or becomes in the relationship what is known as a toxic sort of underlying violence or hostility, a very sort of tension, palpable tension that is created in the relationship dynamic with the covert narcissist. And the unresolved anger can also become really a sort of passive-aggressive personality where they don't communicate to you, but then they insinuate through the unspoken word, through the lack of the experience of indifference, apathy, not really caring, not really promoting, not really encouraging, not really guiding, not really being there. It becomes a passive-aggressive toxicity of negativity that is created by the origin, or what we're going to state as the cause of this manipulation in the covert narcissist, and that is oftentimes unresolved anger. Unresolved anger can really destroy a relationship. It can destroy not only the person who has that unresolved anger, but it can also be very toxic to the people who are at the target end or the supply end. Because unresolved anger then becomes seated or carried in the individual who is involved with them. So what do I mean by carried? In other words, when the covert narcissist has not been encouraging, they have not been a good communicator, they have been subtly insulting to you, subtly absent, not very present. So it's not so much outwardly what they've done to say or do to you, but it's more in they abuse more by passivity. They abuse by withdrawal. They abuse by neglect. So it's a very insidious, very unknown, or very difficult to identify with the quote-unquote I, or what they have stated. So oftentimes they will get out what a lot of people describe to me as, they got away with murder. So I hear a lot of people who say that to me, and their feeling of how the covert narcissist has abused. But realize that this unresolved anger can then become projected onto you. So then you become a carrier, or you feel, in essence, a lack of innocence, a feeling like you've done something wrong, this feeling like you just haven't been there for them in the way that they have needed. So then you're trying to do mental gymnastics, trying to figure out what you need to do to please them, do better for them, be a better spouse, be a better lover, be a better girlfriend, a better boyfriend, etc. So this oftentimes creates this very pronounced feeling of codependency, or having to take care of them, feeling sorry for them, feeling like there's something you can't quite put your finger on, but you need to take care of them. So you become a very codependent caregiver. And I want you to be cautious of how this can create unresolved anger within you, because in essence, there are certain needs that are not being met for you. So then this unresolved anger becomes instilled in the target, in the supply. And it can also take very insidious ways of acting out in one's life, that unresolved anger. So the unresolved anger can take many forms in terms of feeling angry at them. And then so you're mimicking sort of covert narcissistic ways onto this covert narcissist, where then you have to become silent, and then you act out that anger in other ways. So things like overeating, compulsive spending, compulsive shopping, compulsive debting, uncontrolled impulses to try to release the anger or aggression that this individual has created within you. So this unresolved anger can be very insidious, and be careful of the ways that it might sabotage you in your life. It becomes a form of what is known as self-sabotage. So in other words, you you feel that the relationship has not set you up for success. So if the covert narcissist was your parents, you feel really that you weren't set up for success. And perhaps then you had to tune into their needs rather than your own needs. So then you become focused on constantly taking care of the needs of others. And in this experience, you in essence lose your innocence. You've had to be a caregiver too soon. You weren't allowed or permitted to be taken care of. So it can be very difficult for you to receive. So get very attuned to this. Become aware of these dynamics. Become aware of these moving parts in the relationship. And become aware of your emotion and feelings that are created in these relationship, coming together between the two sides, of you and this individual. Whether it's someone in your past, someone you've recently let go, or someone who is presently in your life. Because it's very important to release and let go of this unresolved anger. If it's created a unresolved anger in you, you don't want to allow that negativity to direct and control your life, because, as I mentioned, it does take the form of self-sabotage, where because you felt you weren't set up for success, if it was a parent, or perhaps the spouse has taken advantage of you and the relationship has become out of balance, it then does become a source of unresolved anger, which is a very volatile and unstabilizing emotion. So anger has its place when it is, in essence, there for a justified reason. So it is very important to release the anger or deal with those issues as they come up. And if you have created a habit of non-confrontation because of dealing with a covert narcissist, it is very important to become aware of that and learn how to become adept at handling situations that require attending to, that require confrontation, if you will, or require you to stand up for yourself and be present and speak up for yourself and learn to do it. Because if you haven't had the practice of doing it, chances are it's going to become difficult for you, or you're going to feel insecure when you need to address this with people. So this oftentimes, again, has its origin in unresolved anger. So become attuned to this, become aware, become sensitive, and release that negativity, release that unresolved anger so it doesn't pollute your life, pollute your interactions, and cause you to feel inadequate, inferior, or low self-esteem from not knowing how to deal with this through lack of experience. Peace and harmony with you here today. I hope these videos do help. Please share and please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support.